welcome to What Do, that little vlog on the internet where the members of D2M talk about whatever the subject is and play a little game. That game being is, what would you do if you wound up in said subject? Alright, now today we're going to be talking about the first episode of Gravity Falls, Tourist Trap. And for those who don't remember it, here's a quick synopsis.
Trust me.
What?
Dipper, just this once. Trust me.
And he did. So, Tsuyoi, tell me your thoughts and views on the episode.
Well, the episode is the first episode of Gravity Falls. I think I've seen it once before. I've seen a lot of little snippets here and there. I'd say it's pretty good. As cartoons go, this is supposedly one of the best ones of the generation. I believe that's what I've heard. As for, just general thoughts all over, made me laugh a lot. Pretty good. Art style, distinct. I don't think I've seen something that looks like this before. Gotta say, favorite character so far? Stan. Absolutely. No holds bars. I don't think anyone's made me laugh that hard before.
What did he do that was so funny?
Just constant mocking. Just, every little bit helps.
Well, okay then, so if I can talk about my views for a bit. So, I went into Gravity Falls not knowing much of anything about it. I got to saw the episode for the first time, and I must say, I really liked what I saw for the first episode. Characters were intriguing, the setup was intriguing, and I was surprised how it actually managed to throw me for a loop in the episode, even though, I heard what the first episode was about. I've always known what it's been about. Apparently the episode involved gnomes. And yet, the episode was, telling me it's about zombies. And so when, the truth came out, I'm just surprised, how so engrossed in the episode I was, that it generally did give me a surprise.
Yeah, you fell for it.
Yeah, I fell for it. So I'd say, that's a testament to, just the writing and entertainment value that the show itself is, able to present. As far as, standout characters go, the Pine Twins, Mabel and Dipper, are the ones that stick out to me the most. Everyone else has, little things about them, and I feel I'll, be able to judge them more the more episodes we watch.
Right.
Which, I am looking forward to doing more of these in the future.
My favorite character, besides Stan, obviously, that guy with the turtle. Standout character. Standout character. I think they need to bring him back. I think he needs to get more lines. He said such poetic things. Really spoke to my soul. I like turtles. I've actually had a turtle.
No, I didn't know that.
They're surprisingly quick. Don't let the media fool you.
Okay.
Besides that...
Any other thoughts on the episode?
Yeah, I would say, the gnomes, pretty interesting. I didn't expect them to combine to make a mecha, of all things. I'm almost half surprised they didn't just shoot off their arm like a rocket. I mean, I don't know how they would have done that, but I'm pretty sure if they did it, I wouldn't have put it beyond the realm of possibility, honestly. I wouldn't have been like, oh, okay, this is a bit too much. Episode over. I'm done. Also, Mabel creeping on that guy in the mattress place was hilarious.
Come one, come all, to the Mattress Prince's kingdom of savings!
Take me with you.
Yes. Yes, characters certainly getting their personalities out there. For the most part.
For the most part,
yeah. For the most part. I'll get into, that a bit more later as, we go over stuff.
Right.
But, I can say there isn't a character in here that I didn't like. But can the same be said for you?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Except, maybe just one. I'm kind of suspicious of that werewolf guy. But I'll bring him up later. Also that goat.
Ah, yes. That goat.
Also, I'm a bit afraid of the mosquitoes in this in Gravity Falls because clearly they're trying to spell out messages and bites, but they just suck at writing. It's hard for a bug to grasp human concepts like language. They try to tell you beware, but they ain't very good. At least that's what I think. So, copious amounts of bug spray are needed when in Gravity Falls. I hate mosquitoes. Anyway, so as far as episode synopsises go, or thinking about the thoughts of the episode in general, it is pretty entertaining, pretty creative, I'd say. I mean, I don't think I've seen gnomes in anything else besides Gravity Falls. I know they got their own cartoon once, but that's about it.
Yeah. And as far as my synopsis goes, pretty good. Looking forward to more.
Indeed.
So let's get into that little game of ours that we like to play. What do?
Yes.
Yeah, here's where, we'll just go over, if we somehow wound up in the world of Gravity Falls, what would we do? Now, for this one, we're going to do a little bit special in that we're only going to use the information that we've learned up to the current episode. So, since this is only the first episode, some information may be kind of light.
Right. Well, we may or may not have seen more than the first episode. But we're only going to use information that exists in the first episode, so the plans we make are prone to change. Like, if you were suddenly thrust in... It's a thing I do all the time. I daydream constantly. Like, if I were suddenly in the world of Pokemon, what would I try to do? It's like, well, if we were stuck in Gravity Falls at the very beginning, or maybe a little bit before...
Well, who knows? One could only hope at what point they would end up in the series.
Yeah, what would your priorities be?
And since this is more or less your concept, why don't you start us out? So, Tsuyoi, you're in the world of Gravity Falls. What do?
Okay, well, let's just start off with the first most important thing. You're starting off, you're suddenly in the world of Gravity Falls, but how are you there? Did you just wake up, you were sleeping, and now suddenly you're in Gravity Falls? You just suddenly blink and you're there? It's important to know these things. I typically start from the, I don't know, you just kind of wake up there. You're fully clothed, hopefully. I don't want to go with I sleep in the nude. I wound up in Gravity Falls completely nude. I don't sleep in the nude. I actually used to sleep fully clothed practically. So, if that happened, I would be fully clothed. But, I mean, that's not why I did it. It was easy. I think my first thing would be to freak the frig out. That is the first step. Get all your freak out. You're in the middle of the woods or in a town you are unfamiliar with. You're scared. You're gonna freak out. Second part, that's when you start to get your bearings and you're like, where the hell am I exactly? So I'd probably just wander around for a bit. Either I'd get lost in the woods and die, or I'd find the town, or a landmark of some sort, or a person, hopefully. Let's just say, for the sake of the argument, I don't die in the woods. Let's say I find, he's like, oh, you're in a place called Gravity Falls. Okay, so let's go back to step one. Let's freak out a little bit more. Okay, yeah, that's about right. Okay, now third thing. I'm hungry, probably, at this point. I've been wandering the woods, been bit by mosquitoes all over. I'm gonna need to find something to sustain myself. So I'm either gonna be looking for, a homeless shelter, or I'm gonna be looking for spare change just to buy snack food. Then again, I guess one could try to go to the Mystery Shack. Maybe, see if you could work for little to nothing. If you can, hey, I mean, Grunkle's not Grunkle, he's their Grunkle. Stan is a very cheap man, it seems, as far as I can tell. So he'd probably appreciate someone who would work for very little. And, you can just kind of buy, instant ramen. You can just survive off that for a while. Instant ramen, water.
Well, hopefully this little out-of-nowhere town actually has such conveniences.
Well, I'm sure they have, a convenience store or something. They have something. They gotta have a grocery store.
Maybe. We never actually see, a town in the first episode.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
They just show the shack, don't they?
Yeah, they just focus on, the shack and, the forest. The only reason we know there's a town is because Dipper said so.
Right. Oh, also they actually did go to the diner. Mabel and Norman, they went to the diner. And they were in a park for a time. And
Oh.
there was, like, buildings around them.
Right. We actually did see little screenshots of other places
Right.
during that date of theirs.
I forgot about that until just now. Also, interesting idea. Should help Dipper get journal or be there when he gets it? That way you're kind of like part of that whole scenario. That way he's not like weirded out how you know things or
So like you would try to integrate yourself into like the going-ons of Gravity Falls if you're around there at that time.
very little. Like I'd like to be there at that point. Just to it's kind of like dipping your feet in the water. You want to be there for it, at least in the beginning. That way you can tag along for certain adventures later on. It doesn't seem that weird. But you don't have to be there for everything. Yeah, I would rather not, thank you. I like to work my machinations in the background. Weave my web. You can't weave the web while you're in it, or while you're in, like, battle or something. Now, another thing. Seuss mentioned something about a werewolf mailman. That guy. Now, I don't know why, but something tells me that lycanthropy could be useful. If it's anything like lycanthropy in Skyrim, being a werewolf could be pretty boss. So I'm just winging it here. That's my style. But maybe try and hint or ask him about it. I don't know what's a good way to ask about are you a werewolf? Just go up and go, are you a werewolf? If so, I want in.
Oh, okay. But what do you do if this ain't the good kind of like a good kind of werewolf? What if it's bad kind of werewolf, to where you change uncontrollably at night and you just go on like
Massive
night
murdering
prowling
sprees?
or something like that?
Well then, I ask him about that. If I assume if it's a bad kind of werewolf, he's gonna be like, "You don't want any of what I have, stranger," and like wander away. And maybe because he met me, he would attack me the next night because his mind would still be on me or something, or he'd have the scent. I'm in the mystery shack at that point. I'm with plot protected characters. I mean, I don't know if that protects me. Actually, wait, what would mean I'm in the mystery shack? I don't know where Seuss or Wendy go. Why would I be sleeping there? You're right, I'd be in the homeless shelter with a bunch of other expendable people, apparently. I mean, who's gonna know? Are they gonna talk about that? No. No one's gonna acknowledge that was attacked by a werewolf. Did I just call the homeless expendable?
Yes, you did.
I take it back. I can do that. Also, if I was at the Mystery Shack, I could meet Rockface, the face that looks like a rock. Or the rock that looks like a face. I'm not quite sure which. Anyway, as for standout characters, Wendy seems interesting.
So, what, you try to get to know her a little bit better?
Yes. I like redheads. And she seems pretty cool. Other than that, Dipper's pretty cool for, I don't know, a kid, I guess. But really, I wouldn't hang around them too much. But most importantly is the final step in my plan.
So far.
So far. The final step in the plan so far for this episode. They confront, at the end, these gnomes. These gnomes, man. Oh, man, these gnomes. They got so much going on for them. They want a queen. Now, so they're in need of some leadership, clearly. When they were defeated by their leader being jettisoned away, they started, one of them wanted, they started calling out for orders, not knowing what to do. They need leadership. They need a strong leader. And that's where I step in at the end. Now, I'm not exactly sure exactly how to start off the leadership thing. I can't just suddenly run in and tell them all to retreat. That is one thought. Is just go in and scream retreat and then run off with them. It should be kind of weird to Dipper and Mabel.
Yeah, just like you hiding off to the side of the
in
shack,
the bushes.
just watching the whole thing go down. Just run and retreat. Maybe even grab the one that got caught by those
the
can
goat.
holders before the goat can get to it.
Right, retreat back to the woods. I could try and confront Norman about it sometime between dates. Other than that, with the trying to become leader of the gnomes is basically what I'm trying to accomplish. There's 999 besides the leader. He might reconvene at some point with them. Hopefully by that point I'll be helping them out with like plans. I do have ideas for the gnomes. With people that numerous, that good at teamwork, there's a lot you can accomplish. Plus, they probably know the woods better than anybody else. If there's secrets in that woods, they might know about it. Also, they probably know how to procure food and stuff that humans could eat. So, you know, nuts, berries, mushrooms, anything that's safe and edible for human consumption. Maybe they could help me catch animals or something. I mean, I could probably sell deer or something. I don't know, people do that, people hunt. I could try doing what I can, make a little money here and there besides the possibility of working for cheap at the Mystery Shack. I might have to help them find a queen, though. Since they, did they say why they were looking for a queen?
No, they never did.
Well, I assume it's to repopulate. Because they're all old-looking. Then again, and that's not just how they look, because Jeff has a, not gray beard.
He's the only one that looks like that, though.
Huh, maybe they only flocked him because he's, like, the liveliest or youngest. So, like, the most full of, like, vigor. Or he might just be the smartest one. Other than that, I will note one other thing. A little Easter egg I saw. Don't think I didn't see this, animators, that dust bunny in the corner of that room. You're gonna put it up, because I'm mentioning it!
Ah, yes, that dust bunny. Well, in my process of gathering material for this vlog of what do, I have noticed it is actually a consistent element. Like, you see it in their room the one time, and then near the end of the episode, you see it again, in the exact placement where it would logically be. So it'd be interesting to see that if the show is able to keep up with such a level of consistency.
That was throughout this episode, though, right? Like,
Yes.
all that was this episode?
Right, all that was this episode. So if we see that dust bunny in future episodes, you know, that'd be rather interesting.
It would.
Although I find it funny that I mentioned level of consistency with something that I plan on bringing up like a bit later.
Alright. So how about you, Atou? I'm pretty much good on this.
Alright. Aren't you gonna ask me?
So, Atou. What do?
Ah, yes, what do? Now, the thing is, for me, I'm a planner. I love to plan ahead, I love to organize, and I like to just try to think of the many uses that I can, like, have for this and that and everything.
Indeed. Indeed you do.
Yes, so I have a general synopsis of an idea of, like, what it is I'd like to do in Gravity Falls. So let's say that I just wound up in Gravity Falls. The way I kind of imagine most scenarios like this, it'd be like, just imagine how you are like in your day-to-day and whatever you naturally have on you in your given day-to-day, and that's just how you wound up, like, in this world, / situation, / what have you. So nothing particularly special that you were, like, prepared for, but, you know, you're not certainly unprepared, like, you just, like, wake up in your pajamas here or something like that.
So would you have your notepad, or would you just have, like, your phone?
I would have both.
I see.
Because, like, you know, whenever I head out, like, I always, like, I head out with, like, a notepad and a pen on my person.
So I basically just have my house keys and a phone.
Well, yeah, if you were to, like, go with my situation.
And a wallet. Which won't help me none. I don't keep money in my wallet. Wait, does that mean what I currently have on me?
Sure, why not?
$4 in my pocket.
Okay. Let's see, well, I got a key with a flashlight on it.
You and you're having useful things.
I love to have useful things on my person. And I have a picture of my family, so... A sanity? I don't know.
Yay! Plus one sanity point! I don't got that!
Right. And, yeah, just the usual odds and things that carry on me. Now then, like, I would imagine that when I end up in Gravity Falls, for some reason, I see myself waking up near, like, the Mystery Shack, or just winding up there. Like, you would be plopped in somewhat of the most obvious to-start places, you know, by whatever force brought you here to begin with. So, right. Yeah, being at the Mystery Shack, one of my first things to do would be to seek out Seuss.
Seuss.
Yes, Seuss. Which, thinking about it, that's like one of the oddest names I've ever like heard about. Seuss. And like from my research, it is spelled like S-O-O-S.
It's a palindrome.
Palindrome?
That's when something's spelled the same both forward and backward.
Ah, okay. But yeah, it's just like, wow, I've never heard a name that odd. And I'm seeing like all kinds of like, foreign names for the stuff I try to get into. And yet, Seuss. It's just, I can't think of any name that comes close to that.
And it's an organ name, I assume.
Ah.
I assume.
Okay. So the idea would be that I would go up to Seuss and I would ask him for help. Either that he can direct me to a shelter, or, more hopefully, that I could crash and live with him. And now someone like maybe asking that, well, why would he even do that? Well, I would go on to inform Seuss that, like, when I asked around, people said that if you need help, Seuss is the man to go to. Like, he is the one that will help you out. Butter him up, if you will, because I have the feeling that, like, if I do play that up or something like that, then he will get, like, the heroic, like, a hat twing of seriousness is like, yes, I will help this person. And it's like, in the best situation, I'll just end up living with him. Which I figure, okay, that's good.
That's pretty good.
I have like a roof over my head, I have possible food, and maybe he can help me get like a job at the Mystery Shack. Like maybe I can be like an apprentice or a helper to him or some sort, which would allow me to like get in the shack in case a certain other plan doesn't quite work out.
Depending on, of course, on what his living conditions are.
Right. Well, I'm assuming he has a home, unless he just straight up lives at the shack. At which point, that's even better for me, because then, like, I'm just, like, bunking with him and, like, helping him out and stuff like that.
Right.
And, because, like, we've seen how he is in the show, to where, yeah, like, he's an adult, and he has, like, all the seriousness, like, actually, no, he doesn't really have all the seriousness. It's just like, well, he's an adult with adult privileges. And, like, but the thing is, he's still willing to, like, believe you on certain instances. Like, he believed Dipper was like, yeah, I believe you. I see strange stuff in this town. So if I came to him and says, like, hi, I came from another dimension. I'm not quite sure how I ended up here. I need your help, Suits.
He'd probably believe you.
Yeah, he'd probably believe me. And him being, like, as, like, such a nice guy that he really does seem to be in general, I can, like, easily see him, like, helping me out. Yeah. It's like, okay, so if gravity falls and you got nothing, seek out Seuss for help.
Not a bad idea. Huh.
Yep. And so, like, then I'm thinking, well, what do I do from there? Hopefully, like, I'm actually at the the Mystery Shack. Maybe, like, stuff is going on. Hopefully I'm there, like, before Dipper, like, finds the book, or, like, just as he's finding the book. But I already decided that, like, I will do nothing to mess with the book.
Right.
Right, because, like, one of the things I want to do is, like, as we watch this show and things go down, I'm going to use it as a roadmap, like, a timeline, get an idea of, like, what things go down where.
Right.
And I don't want to try to alter or mess with history too much to where it'll just completely diverge and like go off course, to where I won't have the advantage of somewhat knowing ahead of time of what's going to go down.
Right, you always want the element of knowing things before everybody else.
Right. So, like, that's why I figure, okay, book 3, leave it alone. Let Dipper find it. And, like, although, like, I do know how to locate the book if it ever comes down to it. Like, for example, I know that it is located in the spooky part of the woods.
Yes, the spooky part. The spooky part.
Yep, and, like, one thing that stuck out to me about it was the tree it was located in. Like, it was a false tree that, like, quite the audible bang whenever someone hit it, and it was the only one that was covered with, like, moss and mushrooms. All the other trees in the area were, like, clean. They didn't have any of that stuff on them for, like, whatever reason.
Yep.
Like, you would think that a false tree would actually be the one without that stuff, and everything else would have, like, the growth on it. But such is not the case. And I was even able to, like, have, like, a note down of what exactly it was that Dipper did in order to, like, open the hatch that contained the book.
Right, you memorized the jiggling of the stick.
Right, the right stick is jiggled down, up, down, and then you let go of it to let it go up naturally on its own. And the left stick is pressed down, which is held down, at which point you'll hear the hatch open. Now, some may wonder, why bother to, notice that much attention to detail. Thing is, from what I gather at Gravity Falls, this is going to be, the big mystery show. Stuff is going to go down,
Right.
and it would help to pay attention to detail, in a situation like this for certain things.
Makes sense, though I do have one question.
Yeah.
You may have video footage of this thing, but you gonna memorize that?
Possibly. I'm kind of hoping that, by noting it down and going over it, more and more and things like that, I'll be able to either recall it or something like that. Or who knows, maybe I'll be lucky and I'll, end up there with my computer.
Oh, yeah, fair enough, I suppose. God, if you had that on you. Lucky you.
Yeah, with all the materials that I use, putting this together and stuff like that.
Gotta help you if someone else got their hands on it.
Yeah, that's true. It would reveal certain things I wouldn't exactly want getting out to the characters.
Oh, no. Though, also...
Yep.
I did remember that I thought about just going up to that false tree after he was done with it and just jiggling with it and seeing what happens. What's the worst that could happen?
All right.
Set off a chain reaction that causes the destruction of Gravity Falls?
Maybe. But I certainly wouldn't do that, mainly because of plans I have. And that is a perfectly good hidden hatch just out there in the middle of the woods. With a little bit of cleanup, or maybe not cleanup to keep the camouflage up. That seems like a good spot to hide anything that you may want to hide.
Ah, like that werewolf I might have to slay.
Yeah, that might be a good place to hide the body if it comes down to that.
Fair enough.
But I plan on using that for other stuff that I just don't feel like having on my person, or maybe something I feel like having extras of. Like, for example, one thing that I would probably use it for is a copy of the journal. I'd imagine I'd somehow be able to befriend Dipper enough. Or maybe, I'd be able to inform her, hey, I'm from, another dimension. I know stuff about the journal. And, trust me, you need to protect that stuff with copies. So let's go down to a Kinko's in town. Or, I'm just gonna go and, buy some disposable cameras, get, a few shots of that. Just something so that I essentially have the book without having the book on my person. That way, if anything important goes down book-wise, Dipper always has it, but then I always have my copy of it to go off of.
Ooh, that could be troubling, though.
Why is that?
Let's say that plot-wise, he's supposed to lose that book and be without it for a while, but then he remembers the convenient copy that you have. And suddenly, a character arc he was supposed to go through doesn't happen.
Huh, that's true. Well, if that does come up, then I'll try to adjust a plan, as needed or something.
Okay. Also, I might not be able to get instant ramen, but I'm sure you'll find a Kinko's.
But I also said disposable camera.
Maybe you'll find those too. Then again, who knows?
Hopefully, I'll be able to find, from what I remember, I grew up with disposable cameras, and Gravity Falls doesn't seem like it was set, really long in the past or something.
No.
So, it's I grew up with disposable cameras. I'm sure it must have disposable cameras. They should be, fairly easy to get or something like that.
Fair enough.
At least I would presume. And especially since this is, a tourist trap town or something like that. So I would think they'd probably have cameras on hand for tourists to buy. But anyway, it's just something so, I would have my own copy of the journal to walk off of. But one bad thing to this is that, with my attention to detail, I noticed that the book has a lens attached to it. And given the whole it's a mystery show, I'm more than willing to bet that lens shows off hidden stuff in the journal that you wouldn't be able to see otherwise.
Probably.
Right. So I'm not going to be seeing any secret stuff probably through my pictures or
what have you.
Copies, what have you. But at least, hey, I would have something for me to be able to work off of. And that's another note that to myself is that, okay, Mystery Shack, room with Seuss if possible.
Right.
If not, then he'll direct me to a shelter and help me out because he's good like that. And make copy a book. And yes, also I would try to get Dipper to let me use the lens. I would want to ask him to hey, there's a lens, mysteries, try it out. I would point it out. Maybe he does, and it's a thing that happens in the future. If it is, then okay, I'll just revise my plan to not reveal such stuff because such timing may be important. Who knows? Only time, and as we get to future episodes, will tell.
Indeed.
But until then, I really want to know if that lens has anything special going to it.
Right.
And if possible, I would like to buy a grappling hook at the Mystery Shack. We know that by the end of this episode that yes, it does sell grappling hooks.
Or at least it has one.
Yeah, alright. If it has an extra one, get it. If not, leave it for Mabel. Because, like I said, don't want to change history too much, but it's like, I'm in the middle of a, podunk town that's like a forest everywhere, and God knows what. So I feel like that just traveling around with a grappling hook would actually be rather convenient in this wide open wilderness.
Perhaps.
So, if I can get a hold of an extra one to just have on my person, then, good to me. Plus, who knows? Maybe, we'll see the grappling hook be used in the future because, Mabel was using it for, everything. So, maybe in future episodes, we're just, seeing her just, using it all the time.
Perhaps.
Says, hey, Mabel, if you get me the remote, it's sure thing, dip, and then just fire it off to, grab the remote. Somehow it reels in the couch at the same time. So, it'll be interesting to see where they go with that grappling hook. Of course, this assumes that by this time, I've managed to get some money, I'm in stable living conditions, and, I'm able to, afford such expenditures.
Indeed.
Right. Okay, so another aspect of my plan, which I like to call the social links. Based pretty much, off of the Persona series. And, the reason I'm doing this is that when it comes to series like this, there's probably going to be a bunch of characters, a bunch of interesting personalities. But the thing is, I'm only one person. Unless something happens to where I can be more than just the one me, I'm only going to have so many limitations. Which means that I should really try to focus on certain people to build up a repertoire and relationships with. Bonds, if you will, that can help me get through various situations.
Indeed.
So, I figured I should only focus on certain people, but how many should that be? I decided to use the social link system. This way it helped me give an idea of how is it do I want to approach this person, and do I even want to put all that effort into approaching them? Because this may gives me a good enough number of a social network to build up while not overextending myself. And the way I've done this is I've basically taken every character and I've tried to classify them as best as I could based on what they've exemplified in the show so far. So this is going to be updated as we go along, and it's going to be really interesting for me to see that, once I reach the end of my journey of Gravity Falls, I look back and what do I have to show for it? So, first and foremost, let's do these in order. First is the Fool. The Fool can be summed up with creativity, freedom, chaos. And I feel that this rather exemplifies a particular character, and that would be Seuss.
Seuss, you say?
Yes, Seuss. Because Seuss strikes me as that type of character to where, he's an adult with adult privileges, so he can get certain things done that, the kids of Mabel and Dipper wouldn't be able to do themselves. So I have the feeling that, the show will basically, integrate him to do and help out with certain things that you would kind of need an adult present for that they wouldn't be able to do on their own. And he has the potential to help, but I can also see that given his what's the word for it, floatiness, or I guess the freedom in his imagination. Let's go with that. He can either be a great help or a great hindrance. Remember when Dipper was going off to save his sister? And then he's all dude, it's me, Seuss. And he handed Dipper a shovel
for fighting gnomes?
Yeah, no, for fighting zombies. Right.
It's a zombie device.
And then he handed him a baseball bat, just in case for piñatas.
Hey man, you don't know how many piñatas you've seen attack people?
So, I feel that, and also, we see him generally, fixing stuff up around the shack. He is, the maintenance guy, and doing all that kind of stuff. So, the Fool. A person with infinite possibility, but yet the potential to be zero. I feel that really sums up Seuss, rather well.
Yeah.
And I've already gone over, what my plans are for him. Ask him for shelter, and then maybe give him food that stinks or something like that. I plan on building up a relationship with whoever makes my social links.
Right.
Right. Then next is number 1, Magician, who I feel is Dipper. Now, Dipper was actually like kind of hard to like place in this Magician, but what the Magician stands for, I think best exemplifies him. Now, the Magician can be summed up with initiative, self-confidence, and the power to harness one's talents. Which, from what I've seen of Dipper, seems to exemplify him very well. Based on, like, you know, everything he's done in the first episode, which, you know, we're just assuming everyone's seen the first episode already, so we need to go over that too much.
Right, you certainly didn't shy away from fighting a bunch of gnomes. Or a zombie. I mean, a zombie, man.
Yeah, he was driving off in that minecart, gun-ho.
You don't just take a zombie lightly.
Yeah, and like, you know, plans are rather simple when it comes to Dipper. Like, after he finds the book, this is when, like, I would initiate the social link of, like, the Magician, you know, convince him my trans-dimensional nature so I can hopefully gain his trust. And that way I'd be able to, like, have access to the journal. You know, maybe, like, if nothing else, at least he would carry it on his person as we went to Kinko's, or that, like, I used the camera or something.
Right.
Personally, I don't really even want to touch the journal.
Yeah.
At the moment. Because...
Things like the Death Note, you think that something's gonna happen to you. Oh no, I touched it, now I can see all the boogans.
I don't know, but, you know, better safe than sorry and all that kind of stuff.
I suppose. That makes sense.
Yep. And then we have the next social link, which is number 11, Strength. Now, the person who I put for this is Mabel. Strength can be summed up as fortitude, gentleness, and unleashing creative / physical energy.
Ah, I thought it was all that muscle and those abs.
Nah, the thing to keep in mind about, like, Arcana when it comes to tarot is that they're kind of generalizations that can mean their meanings that one could take the word. And from what I've seen, like, Mabel seems to, like, exemplify all of these, especially that last one with creative energy and stuff like that. And I think Dipper kind of summed it up best when, in the beginning, he basically said she has a tendency to always look on the bright side.
My sister tended to look on the bright side of things.
Yay! Grass!
Which I feel, yeah, someone with fortitude would certainly, like, have that trait now, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Now, my plans for Mabel are specifically to romance her after her breakup with Norman.
Swooping in like a vulture.
Well, no. Basically, just like just stand there and like have her pounce on me like a hyena, or maybe flirt a little. Like, because, you know, she's boy crazy, so like she'd probably, like, you know, jump at the opportunity or something like that. That are many reasons why, like, I would kind of want to do this. And one of them would be essentially that if the whole Seuss and, like, you know, helping him out and working at the shack didn't exactly work out too well, she would be my utter end to the mystery shack.
Right. This is your way in. This is your way to ingrain yourself into it.
Right.
It's a means to an end, and nothing more.
Well, if that's your views on it.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I just figure, okay, so yeah, work up a romance with Mabel. Like, that could be interesting. Hopefully, you know, her boy craziness just isn't integral to, like, plots later in episodes to where, like, if we're going out, it's gonna cause some problems. Now, who knows, we'll come to that bridge when we pass it.
Isn't that like her only character trait right now? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
She's only boy crazy, nothing else. Did you see the way she looked at those gnomes?
Yeah, I saw the way she looked at them. I also saw what she said, too. It's like, what?
It is like what?
Right.
Yeah! Just like this. Just like this whole situation.
Right.
Yeah, so you think they'll be okay with that?
Oh, her family? Yeah, sure, they'll, like, totally be fine with it. I mean, you saw how they were with Norman, right? Like,
you mean that teenager?
Right, that teenager.
Speaking of which...
Not quite done yet. But yeah, like you saw the acceptance on their face, and like there were many shots of just them on their date that clearly showed like the differences in ages and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I would think, if they're perfectly fine with Mabel and Norman going on, then they should be perfectly fine with me and Mabel, despite how vastly older than me that she is.
She's older than you?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I forgot you were the ripe old age of 5.
Right. Oh, but I will say this much. That, like, I do know that I could probably sweep it and be like, Mabel, I have something to tell you. I'm a vampire. And then she'd probably fall for me right then and there. But I will never go vampire to try to win Mabel's affection.
You mean you'll never lie vampire?
Yeah, if I actually do somehow become a vampire in Gravity Falls, then maybe. Just maybe. But, I do not want a relationship built on lies. Only manipulation.
I'm very proud of you. I think.
Right. And so, next on the Arcana would be number 15, the Devil, who I feel is best represented by Stan.
Satan?
No, not Satan, just Stan.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I had a nay there, everyone.
Right. The Devil is actually best summed up as selfish, impulsive, and temptation, which I feel fits Stan pretty much to a T, because like he strikes me as like this greedy businessman that's always out to like trick others and like make that quick buck for himself and what have you. So like it's not like I would go out of my way to particularly try to build a relationship or anything with him. It's just that he's kind of like a main character of the cast, and given how like I want to be like around the twins and Suze and kind of get involved in like the crazy adventures they get in, I'm going to be around Stan more often than not. So like that relationship is gonna have to be developed
in one way or another.
Yeah, in one way or another. So like hopefully like maybe I can convince him to allow me to work at the Mystery Shack, either as like, hey, I'm dating Mabel, so why don't you let family help out? And of course family works for free. I mean, because I'm sure he would like that, like a free employee.
What do free employees give you?
Well, it'll give me a free access to the shack for whenever stuff goes down. And or if not, like I can say like, hey, like I'm Seuss's co-worker or something like that, or maybe I can work here like underpaid. Seuss vouch for me, and like Seuss will vouch for me. Hopefully. Like, hopefully that will go down. But yeah, I see that like just building up a relationship, and well, I essentially see him as like the devil in my social links.
Breeding
So
familiarity at least.
right, or
just get used to each other's presence.
I think there's a word for that. Proprequity or something.
I don't know that word you're trying to use.
Right.
That's an awfully big word you're trying to use. Careful you don't hurt yourself.
Right. I'll just figure out its definition and like throw it up or something like that. Right. And then there's the last social link, which I didn't think I would exactly encounter this. I was making this up, but boy, if I couldn't find a way around it. And that is the unknown social link. That would be Wendy. Right. So I feel like that she's going to be part of my social links, like as I go through my adventure in Gravity Falls. The thing is, though, so little was shown of her this episode. She only had 2 scenes, and each scene only had 1 line each. And they were rather generic, and they didn't really tell me much of anything about her character. I mean, I can tell her character's going to be important. She does appear in the intro and like all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be seeing her in the future. But for now, until like I'm more better able to like grasp who is she, what is she like as a person, what do I see like our relationship, if any, being like, then yeah, she's pretty much an unknown at the moment.
Yeah. Also, in this episode, didn't Seuss only get 2 lines? Once when he was fixing that light bulb, and once like we like here and here's his bat.
No, he also had another line of "not it," when it was like, "Don't you want to go out? Who wants to put up signs in the spooky part of the woods?" He's
Wendy
all
got
like,
a line there too.
yeah, he got a line there too.
Oh wait,
I mean,
wait.
like that's where Wendy got a line. And then that's where Seuss got a line to where he's all like, not it.
Ah, you got a good point. I think he got 3 lines total. One more than Wendy.
Okay, Seuss may have only gotten 3 lines, but at least they are very... No.
They were long
he
lines,
got
though.
more lines. Like, he actually had a dialogue with Dipper, like, up in the attic.
That's fair.
Which helped, like, establish stuff, and it was like, I'm always seeing crazy stuff. Like, the mailman, think he's a werewolf, and, like, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they did establish his character a bit more in the episode. Even with, like, they had the same amount of scenes as each other. His were longer, though.
And I'd say he had one more, since Winnie didn't appear in the attic with, Seuss did with Dipper.
Fair enough.
So they established Seuss's character, like, a bit more, which is opposed to Wendy, where it's like, well, hopefully, like, we'll see more of her character.
Right.
Right. Okay, so, like, another part of my plan that I put together out of my social links is, like, a list of locations. Like, just like a quick rundown of what exactly did we see in this episode. We saw the Mystery Shack, and of note of the Mystery Shack is the vending machine that's located at the Mystery Shack.
Right.
With its own little code, 13256. I don't see myself actually going to open that door, though.
Right, who knows what's beyond the door.
Yeah, and who knows, like, what sequence of events I'll trigger by, like, actually opening that door and going down there. So I think I'll probably wait until, like, we find out what exactly is involved with, like, all of that.
Exactly. Just use it for its primary function. Snack foods.
Right.
One needs to eat.
And, of course, we learned about the hidden hatch, which I plan on using for hiding all my stuff.
In the spooky part of the woods.
Yes, in the spooky part of the woods. Luckily, it'll probably be easy to find, because by that point, Dipper will have hanged up all those signs.
Oh, yeah. Just follow the reverse of the signs.
Uh-huh. And, like, then there's also the Gnome Home, which is, like, somewhere around the Mystery Shack. We kind of got, like, a vague idea of it, like, by the road, and, like, this, a hole/cave that seems to be made of trees.
Right.
I'm still a little bit confused by it, since we never got, like, an outside shot of it to establish what it looks like. All we know is, like, it's a bunch of trees, maybe, like, enclosed to look like a cave.
And we assume that's where they live and not just where they dragged her off to.
Right. Well, if anything, it's the closest we have to a way of being able to find the gnomes, because for whatever reason, it is where they decided to drag her.
Indeed.
Then I also have, like, set up an inventory right now so far, which only comprises of, like, 2 things. But I feel that, like, the list will probably go on, and so things will be added over time. So
Right.
far, it just concerns of a copy of the journal number 3. Let's just call it that, since it has, like, a big 3 on it, and it's
Right.
just known as the journal. And hopefully a grappling hook.
Ah.
Hopefully I'll be able to purchase, like, some kind of mounting backpack or something of some sorts to carry this stuff around.
Huh, should I say an inventory as well?
Oh, if you want to establish an inventory for yourself.
Yeah, sure. My inventory will be whatever nuts, berries, and twigs that the gnomes can help me rustle up. Whatever money I can get on me from working. And that's pretty much it, really. Do gnomes count as items?
If you want them to.
Nah, I respect them better than that. Though maybe a cool hat if they can get me one.
I wonder if... Well, that kind of brings me up to another thing, and that is the gnomes. The thing is, I'm not sure whether if I should really count them as a potential social link, or if I should just count them amongst their own category of what I would consider creatures. Because I feel like Gravity Falls is probably going to have an abundance of weird and mysterious things out there that are probably worth noting down, but I'm probably not going to be building any too much of a meaningful relationship with it. The gnomes are probably a bit more of a complex issue for me, mainly because I have plans for them too. Right. Like, my plan was to basically swoop in and become Princess of the Gnomes. They don't strike me as all that smart, as far as, like, creatures go. So then...
Maybe one.
Yeah, except for maybe the one. Jeff? Was that him? Yeah. Jeff. So I figured, like, once Jeff is taken care of, and maybe Schmabulok, don't know, he did seem kind of rather uppity for a gnome. Yeah. Like, once Jeff is taken care of, that's when I'll, like, swoop in and be like, I shall be your princess. Maybe even, like, spin, like, a little yarn and web story of, like, well, I'm not a woman, so obviously I cannot be your queen. But I shall still take on the responsibility of leading you. Because you remember how they were all like, who's giving orders? I need orders.
Right.
So, what a good time to just come in and, like, take over.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I figured by calling myself a princess, I would be able to lead them and integrate myself into that weird sort of way. It just seems like it would fit in something like Gravity Falls. But by not taking on the mantle of, like, queen, I won't get whatever weird stuff goes on with, like, the potential queen. So luckily, hopefully, I would be in some kind of in-between state of, like, being able to lead without getting all of the weird responsibilities that come from, like, being, like, a queen and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
Plus, with them at, like, my beck and call, like, I would probably be able to, like, do some more stuff I wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Like, you said that they would have, like, probably a better lay of the land than I would. So, they'd probably be better at finding stuff, foraging, gathering materials, and, like, things like that.
Indeed.
Like, if I ever need to find them, at least I have a general idea of where I need to find them. Assuming I just don't, like, make some sort of method to where, like, I can call, like, a meeting and gather us all up together.
Right. You gotta blow the gnome conch.
Right. And then, I can really see them as, like, being rather useful for a variety of situations. Giving just how good they were when they were working together.
Yes.
Like, when they all just, like, came together, they were like a mecha suit, and I was one with enough training, I could have them be like a mecha suit for me, maybe.
Absolutely.
And they're super strong. Like, remember when they just tore up a giant tree from the ground and chucked it like a spear and it just went flying?
I mean, you chuck a tree out by its roots, you gotta be strong.
Mm-hmm. Especially with the kind of trees they have growing in Gravity Falls.
Those spook trees.
Yes, the spook trees.
What if that was the metal one? Like your entire hatch plan just completely and utterly ruined. Just the one tree.
Okay, well,
they also knocked a few trees over in their running, I think.
Right. That would be a hindrance, but, the whole Heidi hatch, that was just, like, a bonus maybe. I don't mind, like, doing other stuff to, like, just prepare.
Yeah, be prepared.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. But, yeah, and then that's where it was like, well, I'm doing all this stuff for the gnomes. Shouldn't that be a social link? And I gotta think, heck, when I max out the social link with the gnomes, they could probably give me a gnome hat or something. And I can unlock whatever. Like, the true form of whatever it is they'd represent. But the thing is, like, they're kind of like,
conglomerate?
Yeah, they're kind of like a conglomerate. They're not exactly a single person. If there was a single person, it would probably just be Jeff. And the thing is, with how Jeff is, I might need to take him out so that, like, I can really become leader of the gnomes. At which point it just comes down, how evil am I willing to be in this situation to get what I want? I'm not sure yet. But, yeah, I say just for now, for safety's sake, let's just file the gnomes under creatures, and, let's just, go on from there. Who knows, maybe if, like, by the time we get to the end of this series, I just haven't been able to fill out all the social links, which I doubt, then maybe I can just stick them in somewhere, wherever they feel applicable.
I suppose. Did I mention anything about needing to find them a queen?
Yes, you said you might need to find a queen, but I don't think you ever went into detail of, like, how you would go about doing that.
I might have ideas.
Yeah.
I've seen things ahead of time. A few little bits here and there. I got ideas.
Right. We can't talk about that right now,
nope.
So we'll save that for, like, future episodes.
Indeed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how, like, our plans just, like, change the more, like, we go on and on.
Indeed.
Okay. And also, since I was gathering material for this, one thing I was able to do was I was able to gather screenshots of that wonderful journal. So that, you and the viewers at home can actually get a look at of just what it was that was going down or being shown on the screen when they were they were flipping through it, and I thought they had like some interesting stuff to show.
I see. I only caught like a couple in my eye vision.
Right. So here you go. Take a look at it. That's the wonderful cover.
Right. The property of blank.
Right.
Notice that the cover has 6 fingers.
Really?
Yeah, there's 5 on the top and the thumb.
Huh. I never noticed that. Well, all the time I spent editing that image, I never noticed the 5 fingers.
So I noticed that there's a hill with an eyeball on it. So the hills are alive with the sound of blinking.
Right.
Creepy floating eyeballs that may appear only at night and have no retinal cord. Giant vampire bats with a 10 wingspan diameter.
Yeah. I'm wondering what's so special about them. I mean, giant bats are nothing special. They are things that occur out in the wild. They don't seem any more special than the floating eyeballs, which are like, they're just
Floating
these
eyeballs.
things that, like, you know, appear at night. And...
What? You don't see those all the time?
No, I haven't had a chance.
Oh, you haven't been staying up late enough.
Well,
Things get really crazy. I mean, 10 feet in diameter wingspan, that's pretty big. Also, it says, no residue on contact, but that's crossed out. So, apparently there is residue on contact.
with...
The eyeballs.
Ah, okay. Right, I was kind of impressed by how, like, some of this stuff is actually quite legible if you, like, look at it to try to read it.
Right. Also, it looks like you got bored and got tic-tac-toe-y. You start playing tic-tac-toe. There's also the gnomes, who apparently have no known weaknesses.
Huh?
Oh, it also has a height. They're 10 inches tall.
Okay. Oh, wait, did I organize this correctly? Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
That, should...
Okay.
Oh, okay, the
Cursed
gnomes
doors.
were next.
Knock, knock. Who's there? The forces of evil! Dark energy readings 40% higher this year. Avoid this one door on Main Street. It has a 13 on it.
Right.
There's also one that has an eyeball on it. It's kind of pasted in there.
Right. I find this rather interesting, like, just how numbered they are. Like, in the previous one, which shows the gnomes, you'd see, like, creature number 24. So that means that of the creatures we've seen so far,
That's
the
the
gnomes
24th.
are the 24th one. Kind of makes me wonder what the other 23 are. Oh, wait, well...
Doors
that
is
would probably...
case 28, not even creature. So
Right.
they're categorized.
Yeah, like, the bat and the, what was it? The eyeballs. Like, those, should...
Don't have anything.
Oh, yeah, they aren't classified as creatures.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting. But, anyways, yeah, there's even, like, case mysteries and stuff like that. Like,
Right.
Such as the door, which is like, oh, okay, I should probably really, like, I look forward to seeing, like, more journal entries in the future, because they seem to have some level of detail. At least that's what I thought when I was, like, first getting this stuff together.
But then it becomes pretty illegible at some point.
Well, it's not so much that, it's just that I noticed that, like, as I was going... Oh, feel free to go on. Like, in this next page, which is just filled with, like, symbols and, like, gobbly, like, goop, and just, like...
Were you able to decipher it?
No, I wasn't able to decipher any of that.
Let's be honest, did you try?
A little. Like, I at least looked at it for more than a minute and went...
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, essentially.
I got this weird calendar with an eyeball in the middle.
Yeah, at first I was thinking Mayan calendar, but nope, apparently not. Then there comes, like, that great page. I was like, you know, trust no one and stuff, which I was quite interested to see that, oh, okay, it became legible when you zoomed in, except for the other side. That side didn't become any more legible when it zoomed in on it.
Yeah, there's still some red writing here that's not legible.
Right, so it's only legible whatever it wants you to see.
And it looks like they have creature number 6, the zombies.
Right, which kind of caught me by surprise because, wait a second, the gnomes were much earlier, and we saw Dipper flip through, like, the pages in sequence to where, like, the gnomes were the first creature to pop up.
So why is creature number 6 past creature number 24?
Exactly. Which it's just kind of making me thinking that, okay, maybe they have a master journal somewhere, and they're just pulling pages as they need to, like, show on screen. Which kind of...
Or it's a cartoon and you shouldn't think too hard about it.
Really, for a show that seems to be a stickler for detail?
You got a good point there.
Right. And here's a funny part that I found. Like, this is where we start to see Dipper actually start to like make his own entries into the journal and stuff like that. Finally able to like see like a bit of what the left side where he's talking about. If you've been on the road long enough, you've probably seen a bumper sticker that looks like this. And to my surprise, or not surprise, to my pleasure of finding in terms of detail for the show, like that you actually can see that in the show, and that you can see like a go-kart with a bumpy sticker, like what is the Mystery Shack.
It's a mystery.
Like, that's a nice attention to detail. But the thing is, at another point when Dipper is just kind of flipping through the book, like when he's showing his sister Mabel the zombie entry, if you kind of take a close look, you can see that what is essentially should be like the last entry, or maybe where he starts writing, is like in the middle of the book.
Right before the undead thing.
Yeah, right before the undead thing. So, it's quite interesting, so I'm wondering...
Why did you start writing there?
Yeah, on like what would essentially be like maybe the back page of like the zombie entry, unless they're like... I feel odd to say that maybe they didn't think that anyone would really bother to look to notice, or maybe they did it on purpose because they figured, hey, like, won't they find this, like, hilarious of what's up with that?
Perhaps.
Because, like I said, with a show about detail, like, I would think they would keep their pages organized.
Maybe he was just a very disorganized person who ever wrote the book.
Just, like, removing pages and putting them back in?
Perhaps. Maybe he wrote it in an incomprehensible order to confuse those who would read it.
To confuse his enemies.
Yes!
Right? And of course, like, I got some screenshots of the back, because I figured, oh, what's so important about the back? Well, there's symbols on there for, like, whatever reason.
There's symbols and dust. I wonder if the dust means anything significant. There were 2 centipedes. Let's make many theories about those 2 centipedes.
Right. Well, I'm not into much of making theories, but I am one for, like, playing this little game of ours of, like, what to do in that situation. Which kind of involves making theories and guesses and, like, all that stuff overall. In our grand scheme to try to figure out what do while here in this world. And, let's see, I think that's everything that I really wanted to go over with. As anything else that you want to bring up?
No. It just seems that your plan is a bit way more in-depth than mine in some areas. But, and vastly, wildly different in some other ones. You aim to be Princess of the Gnomes, I just aim to integrate myself or rule them! I will be the new Jeff! A better Jeff! They can even call me Jeff if they want, it's fine.
What are you gonna do if Jeff comes back?
Challenge him for right to rule the gnomes. Or I could just get together with him and talk man to man. I know a few things here and there, quite knowledgeable about certain things and events, and that we can both benefit from a mutual relationship.
I see. Okay, well, from what I know, just based on the first episode, I only see me taking him out in one way or another. Maybe sticking him in that little hidey hatch of, like, mines until he starves to death or something.
I see. I think, yeah, talking it out with him and saying that we can work a beautiful partnership, a mutual benefit, work out. He seems like an honest guy, honestly. Like, when he tried to, like, talk to Mabel honestly about being a gnome.
Wasn't certainly honest with Dipper.
Well, no, he was very honest with Dipper. He said, it's not what it looks like. We're just going to marry her and make her our queen for eternity, all 1,000 of us. He said exactly the truth.
Didn't he say that she agreed to it?
Okay, so he lied one time.
Okay, there's the one little fib ain't gonna hurt anything.
No, certainly wouldn't hurt nothing. It wasn't what it looked like. Because what it looked like was that they were tying her down. Who knows what that looked like.
Okay, then.
Anyway.
Anything else?
Nope.
So with that, there's only one thing to end this off on. Awkward sibling hug.
Awkward sibling hug.
Awkward sibling hug?
Awkward sibling hug.
Pat, pat.